Alright, what's up, Dragon Brood? It looks like Wizards of the Coast just released a bunch of information about the new Phyrexian set for Magic the Gathering this morning, and unfortunately, I was busy. Well, I partially slept in, and then I was busy with a couple things, so I've actually avoided Twitter all day, so I didn't see anything, so I could go over this live with you. So you're gonna get my live reactions as I go through a replay of their announcement from this morning. So let's get to it. And just so you know, I am going to be fast forwarding through some stuff if it looks like they're just expanding a lot on the thing. I mostly want to get the high points so y'all aren't having to watch an hour-long video, and it saves me also a lot of editing. So let's hop into it and see what they got going. So it looks like the set is going to be called Phyrexia All Will Be One, so not a surprise. You can kind of see some of the symbols behind them. It almost looks like they've done like good guy, bad guy symbols maybe, or maybe these are symbols for the regular set and for the commander set, I think is what they're doing here. Oh, well, speaking of, there you go. It was in the next frame. So, yeah, Phyrexian All Will Be One, and then the commander sets here. Kind of simple symbols, but, you know, they're set symbols. Just wanted to stop on this artwork here that's going on. Like this, I don't even know what's going on. This is like a big, this almost looks like a monster head with like horns, but then there's a dude living in it where like the brains would be. Like, this is a crazy piece of artwork. Like, wild. Yeah, credit to the artists, because this is crazy. What is this creepy BS? What? Look at this. Look, seriously, there's like weird creepy faces in this triangle, and it's got like arms and I think legs hanging out of it. And then there's like little like 3-layer teeth mouth. Actually, this one has like 4. I don't know. I don't know what I mean, it's Phyrexia, so you're gonna be weird stuff. But man, this is a crazy piece of art. It's called the Crawling Chorus, but bleh. Yeah, they're going all in on the horror stuff for Phyrexia, because like this is another creepy piece called the Meld Web Curator. Yeah, this is cool looking, but man, this is creepy. Like, credit to the artists, the art department with the design briefs and everything else, because the artists look like they hit it out of the park. This is the new Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines. This is pretty cool too. Like, it's neat that they did this piece where she's the only one in color, right? Her red and white like stands out, and everything else is like that bluish gray. So it's actually really fun piece, honestly. To like, it gives like this imposing, creepy figure, even though we don't know what the card does yet. Here's all the dates for all the stuff that's coming. So fortunately, we do get some time off from previews, it looks like. So we're getting these right now, I'm assuming, because having worked with Wizards before, there's going to be a lot of people out of the office starting next week until probably the 1st or 2nd of the month of the year. So makes sense. So we're not going to have any previews until then. So we're going to have all the way until it looks like the January 12th. And then everything kind of kicks off as normal with the pre-releases coming on February 3rd through the 9th. And then we get it on Arena on the 7th. So that's actually pretty cool. All right, so they're just rolling out the card here. Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines. I just realized I'm going to have to move my panel around for this because I'm going to be in the way of the art. However, we did already see this art piece. But Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines is a 5-mana 4/7 with Vigilance. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Permanents entering the battlefield don't cause abilities of permanents your opponents control to trigger. Man, sometimes Magic reads weird. But what this card is saying is every time you play something, if something comes into play and would trigger, you get it a second time. If your opponent does it, their stuff does not trigger. So, as an example, if you were to play Brutal Cathar and it was going to come into play and exile a creature, you would get to exile 2 things. Your opponent would play their Brutal Cathar and get to exile 0 things. So, yeah, pretty cool card. And at 5, it's at least reasonably playable because we play a lot of things at 4, 5, and 6 right now. All right, I called an audible. I'm over here now so you can see the cards. So Blue Sun's Twilight. It's X blue sorcery. Gain control of target creature with mana value X or less. If X was 5 or more, create a token that's a copy of that creature. This is a pretty interesting card because, one, it's Blue Sun's Twilight, and we had Blue Sun Zenith, Red Sun Zenith, whatever previously. So it's actually kind of cool. This is a callback to that. But the neat thing here is you could take anything 5 or less by paying 7, and you get 2 copies of it. So you get the one you stole, and you get a copy of it. It's pretty cool in the sense that even if the thing only costs 3, you could still pay 7, so you can get 2 of them if you wanted the copies of the ability. It also doesn't say target creature and opponent control. So if there's something of your own that you want to copy and have a duplicate ability of, you could do that as well. So pretty interesting card. We haven't had any real steal effects make a big impact on standard, but it'd be pretty cool to see if something like this can because it's so versatile. Oh no. Oh gosh. All right. I get to be the negative Nancy. I was on board. Man. Phyrexia Obliterator. There's just nothing fun about this card. Like, okay, let me say this. We're all tired of seeing mono black. Mono black's already everywhere. It already has a bunch of good cards. Sure, it has shield rated 4, but I mean, hell, play 2 or 3 shielded and play 3 of these, right? This, it's a good Magic card. Don't get me wrong. It is a damn good Magic card. But it just, in some ways, turns off some strategies or whatever that, yeah, just not the type of card I want to see existing. Honestly, so far, this has been the first thing that I've been negative about. Like, I am not happy that Phyrexia Obliterator is going to exist in standard. Like this, it's honestly, it makes deck building very boring because now everybody pretty much has to play with some. If you're playing aggressive deck, you have to play with some amount of exile effects or whatever, because or some way to, I guess, make a ton of tokens or something. So you have things to sacrifice. Otherwise, like this card just takes over the game if you even try to attack, assuming your opponent's at more than like 5 life or something that you could sneak through. So yeah, that's a tough one. All right, we have Jor Kadeen, first Gold Warden. It's a red and a white 2/2 human rebel. So it's a human. I was thinking it might be a soldier, but it's a human rebel. Trample. Whenever Jor Kadeen first attacks, it gets XX until end of turn, where X is the number of equipped creatures you control. Then, if Jor Kadeen's power is 4 or greater, draw a card. So you have to equip it, and then it gets the bonus equal to the number of equipped creatures you have. And if this is power 4 or greater, I mean, this is okay, I guess. I mean, it's trying to encourage you to play equipment. We do know there's already some equipment decks built for Commander that you see every now and then. I think we've had like 3 or 4 equipment commanders over the last couple of years. So this fits into those. Does it have a standard impact? I don't know. We'll probably try to build a deck with it, but I wouldn't expect it to. I feel like this is for more outside of 60 card Magic. Hey, it's our boy Koth, Fire of Resistance. 2 red. Obviously a Planeswalker. +2, search your library for a basic mountain, reveal the card, put it in your hand, then shuffle. That's interesting. It's just to find a mountain. I don't think we've had anything like that on a Planeswalker that just puts a land from your deck into your hand. But this is actually pretty cool. I don't have a problem with this at all, actually. And it's +2, so it means for 4 mana, you're going to get a 6 loyalty thing on turn 1. That's pretty cool. Koth deals damage to target creature equal to the number of mountains you control. Okay, so it can take out a sizable body later in the game. And if actually not even just later in the game, on turn 4, it can still take out possibly a 4/4. You get an emblem with whenever a mountain enters the battlefield under your control, this emblem deals 4 to any target. Wow. So if you just +2/+2, then from then on, every time you play a mountain, you get to hit something before. This is really good. Good on Koth. Like, we hadn't seen Koth in, what, a decade plus? So it's kind of cool that we kind of get a card that really is representative of them. And it's like, this is a red card, right? Like, you have to be in on mountains playing red to take advantage of it. I dig it. Also, something randomly, I just noticed this, but this is rare and not mythic. Usually the Planeswalkers are mythic in sets outside of, like, War of the Spark, I think. So, not sure what this means, but it's interesting. Like I said, just caught that. Okay, so their announcement says, of these 10 Planeswalkers, 5 are going to be completed. Basically meaning they're going to end up like Tamiyo and Ajani or whatever with cybernetic Phyrexian parts or whatever. So, we've got Jace. This is Kaito out of Kamigawa, so he's pretty new. It'd be awful for him to get completed. Yeah, this is actually a good selection. Some that we haven't seen in a minute, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I'm not really sure what to make of that, but they said there are 10, and over the course of the story, 5 will be completed. So I'm assuming we won't see them previewed, the completed ones, until after that part of the storyline gets released online during preview season, but we'll see. And obviously, we know Koth is good because, well, we just saw that he wasn't completed. And he's the only one using his new art. So we know that one's safe. But we don't know about the others yet. Okay, so this next part is kind of interesting. They decided that they were going to show, well, first they got manga inspired art to have artists do completed versions of all, I guess, 10 of these planeswalkers, but still only 5 will actually use any artwork where they are completed. This is more of like a what if thing, but I thought it was pretty cool that they even did this. Just, I don't know if maybe internally there was probably a thing where they might do like, let's put all this out there and then see how people react, even though we already know which ones are going to be completed or not. Give us something to talk about over the holiday break would be pretty cool. But in this case, I think it was just like, hey, here's a fun exercise. Maybe you could do some alternate art things or posters down the road. But yeah, anyway, there's Jace. Kaito, his is kind of creepy. He looks almost like a spider. That's kind of cool. What, man? Okay, I'm kind of glad Koth didn't get completed. But bruh, look at this. Like, had he got completed, this is a sweet piece of art. Like, and he looks way scary too compared to a lot of the other ones. This one with Luca, I can't really even tell what's going on. I mean, I guess up in here, this is him maybe melded with his one of his beasts or something. It's kind of a interesting, more abstract than the other ones. Not necessarily my jam. Oh, that's funny. Whoever got this basically did a throwback to the artwork, but you can see all the like creepy Phyrexian stuff behind Nissa instead. That's actually a pretty neat way to do it. Vraska kind of just looks like Vraska, just slightly scarier, so that's kind of funny. She's already a demigorgon or whatever, but that one's pretty cool. Oh, I guess that's all they're going to show us. All right, I guess that makes sense. They don't want to take the whole thing up showing us all 10. Here are the basic lands for this set. Kind of what you expect. We've seen Phyrexian stuff before, so while pretty, nothing that really stands out. These are the full art ones. These are kind of neat because like here you can kind of see the black one sort of is reminiscent of a spider. This one has like, because you can see all the different suns behind them, but then like this one almost looks like antlers on something. So like, I kind of like the little subtlety they put into these pieces, which are pretty cool. Of course, there are full art lands every set now, it seems like. I mean, these are neat if you just want Phyrexian lands and you want the Phyrexian font. I'm sure some people really like these, to be honest. Not my jam, really. I think we just have too many full art lands, so unless they're like way different, I'm not super into them. But hey, this is your jam. You like Phyrexian font stuff? This is a way to get them and fill your deck with them. Okay, it looks like they're going to do something called Borderless Ichor Shadow, or Borderless Ichor Showcase cards. We have so many different versions of Magic cards these days. But this actually looks pretty cool. This is like, almost like ink drawings of the different characters. Also, Slowbad is back. That's pretty funny. However, it looks like he's been completed. He's now Phyrexian Goblin Artificer, which is sad. But Slowbad does say sacrifice an artifact to add an amount of red mana equal to the sacrifice artifact's mana value. Spend this only to cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts. That card could have some benefits. When we're talking about playing these really large like prototype cards and stuff, this could be the type of card to do something in those builds. So very cool. I'd keep an eye on that. And then I guess they are going to just have those versions of the cards available, it looks like, because this is the Borderless manga cards. So I guess all that manga art they did, there's going to end up just going on cards anyway. So there's Elesh Norn again, Jorn Kadeen again, and Koth again. But really cool that you could have that Koth artwork on a thing. This is one of the few times I look and say, like, depending on the style of art you like in this case, I'm a big fan of the Koth piece of art. Like, I would be more inclined to play with that Koth than the regular one. But, you know, you might be more into some of these other art or artists. So that's actually pretty cool. I like the options that this is providing. Okay, this is an even further interesting thing that there are borderless concept Praetors. So you've got all the newest versions of the Praetors, it looks like, based on their costs and abilities. And just done up with like the original, I guess this would be like the concept art for them. This is kind of interesting as an idea. They look kind of cool. I like the simple like color stripe to identify, you know, each of the different planeswalkers. I'm kind of into it. I think these are neat. Now, it's weird because you're going to have, I don't know, what have you already seen? Like 4 versions of Elesh Norn? So it's probably going to be more than that. But, you know, I do think this is kind of neat. And these will probably be worth a little bit too. And this isn't really a surprise that we got an Elesh Norn here with the Phyrexian print on everything. We did this with the other recent Phyrexian Praetors as well. So it kind of makes sense that they would do it here. I think this is going to be another fun insert in Collector's Boosters or something. So this is pretty cool here. Blake's showing off a new foil that's got the Phyrexian symbol among the artwork. So it's almost like they're taking what they learned from the Galaxy foils in whatever that last unset was, and applying it to the Phyrexian Praetors. So you get this cool symbol on them, which is actually really, really cool. That's not even just on the Praetors. This is on anything, I guess, can get these because they're showing a Phyrexian Obliterator that has it. So that's actually pretty cool too. Neat idea though. Neat idea. I don't hate that. All of the Elesh Norns will be available in every booster. I thought there were going to be like one or two that are available in regular like draft and set boosters and the others in the collector's boosters, but it sounds like they wanted Elesh Norn to be available to everyone, regardless of what booster you buy, because I guess it's Elesh Norn set. So yeah, 5 versions of Elesh Norn in the set, but they will be available in all different boosters. This is also going to be the set where we get the Street Fighter Secret Lair printed as normal Magic cards. For those of you that aren't aware, anytime they do Secret Lair with a unique license, that the cards are completely unique. They did promise that within, I think they said 5 to 6 months following their release, that next set will end up having those cards reprinted, but with a Magic themed front, basically. So in this case, you will see the Secret Lair cards from Street Fighter as Magic cards. If you notice here at the bottom, they have, like, it says Secret Lair SLD 428. I think that's how they're using this, SLX. So you can kind of tell that this is not a normal card from the set. Normally these are marked as being from the list, but I wonder if they just changed that because these are Secret Lair. So, but anyway, these will be available. You can now get your Street Fighter versions of regular Magic cards. And they do still play like normal. We can only play 4 total of it. Just the way it is. But yeah, neat idea. Also, if you're curious, this Balden is a version of E Honda from the Street Fighter Secret Lair. And Vikia here is a version of Ryu. So, same thing. Worded exactly the same, just where it would say Ryu on the card, it just says Vikia. So, just cool. They're at least showing everybody to let us know that they're coming. And then Aisha is a version of Kin. So, and again, these are not going to be standard playable. They are just making them available so anybody who wants them can get Magic versions of them. If you don't want the Street Fighter skins in your deck for whatever reason, this gives you an opportunity to play with them as Magic cards, but you're only going to be able to use them in the older formats, the Eternal formats, and use them in Commander. And Blanca gets to be the Howling Abomination. 5 mana, 5/5, haste, has trample. As long as you have 3 or more, played 3 or more spells that turn, same thing. Just has a different name on the card. More Street Fighter things. More Street Fighter things. I mean, the artwork they've chosen for these is actually really good, so I can't knock it too much. Like this is just kind of more just saying like, hey, this is what they're going to look like if you see them in a booster. Okay, here's all the products that are coming out for this set. We get set, draft, collector boosters. We get the bundles. Bundle Complete Edition. I'm not sure what that has yet. I'm sure they'll tell us about it soon. The regular bundles. Usually those are Complete Edition. I'm going to guess Bundle Complete. Probably comes with Collector's Booster if I was guessing. The Welcome Booster. The pre-release packs. Commander decks. There's 2 Commander decks it looks like. And Jumpstart boosters, which we don't need Jumpstart every set. So that's kind of disappointing that that's going to continue. I would not be surprised if Jumpstart is reduced down to being 1 special set or is removed entirely as a product line by this time next year. Whoa. All right. So these are oil slick raised foils that comes in the Bundle Complete Edition. It does say that you will get 2 of each of these in the Complete Edition. So you'll get 10 of these. So if you get 2, you'll have 4 of each of the basics, which for current standard might be okay unless you're playing a monocolor deck. But there will at least be a reasonable number available. So that's actually kind of nice too. They're not chase level, but you do have to go out of your way to get your hands on them. And then it looks like we also have Elesh Norn in the oil slick foils, or slick raised foils, I guess is what we're calling these. So this is kind of cool too, in the sense that it means we're going to get some other cards you can get this in as well. So this is kind of cool. It's a cool foil. I think a lot of people are going to like. I'm not even huge on foils, but I do like this concept of like the raised embossed foil, and it has a cool like oil slick effect. So much more interesting. The concern obviously will be, how does this treatment affect the cards themselves? Does the raised foiling of it help with the curling? Who knows, but I'm sure we'll see. And then the follow-up set is going to be March of the Machine. We've got a draft booster, set booster, collect booster, pre-release pack, bundle. So no special bundle for that set. We'll have 5 commander decks, which isn't a surprise. We seem to alternate 5 and 2 or 4 and 2 depending on the set. And then again, Jumpstart, that, you know, it's Jumpstart, whatever. But much smaller product line for the following set. So I don't know if that's a result of anything at Wizards, if this was something already pre-planned, you know, year and a half ago, whatever. But it is nice to see fewer SKUs available for the following set. Okay, let's talk about what we learned and how I feel about it. So yeah, that was like a lot to take in all at once. And normally I don't feel like we've gotten that much information. Maybe it's just because it's been so long since I've viewed one of those like that, but I feel like they gave us quite a lot. I mean, we got some story idea stuff without giving it to us, which is neat. We see that there's going to be 10 Planeswalkers. We know that some are going to be rare, some are going to be mythic. We know some are going to be completed in the story, and some aren't. We already know one that isn't, and it's getting a return, which is awesome, which is Koth. We got to see those cool foils. The oil slick foils are awesome. If you like Elesh Norn, there's going to be, I guess, at least 6 versions of Elesh Norn to go collect. So that's actually pretty cool. Just tons of stuff in this set. I think this is going to be pretty fun. Some card. The only thing, like I said, I wasn't excited about was a Phyrexia Obliterator. But everything else I kind of really think is pretty cool about this set. I think there's going to be some fun cards, some interesting things we can do. So I'm looking forward to this one. And again, we have a little bit of time to mess around with the current set still. There's some breathing room. We get all the rest of December. We get all of January, because January 12th when we start doing previews. And then, you know, into December before we get the next set. So that's actually pretty cool. I don't have too much of a problem with that. I think this is a good enough time to kind of mess around and get a little bit of breathing room, and we're not going to have any previews or anything until January, so that's kind of nice. But overall, let me know what you think. Are you excited about any of these cards? Are you an Elesh Norn fan and cool that there's going to be a bunch of different versions? Do you also equally hate Phyrexia and Obliterator? I would love to know, because I need to know if I'm on an island with this by myself. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.